Some weeks you're full of energy and other times you just want to take a break from everything. If you menstruate, you know those period days. But the menstrual cycle is more than just bleeding occasionally. It's a complex and sensitive system, and understanding it can be beneficial in your daily routine and training. In today's video, we'll discuss the menstrual cycle and guide you on adapting your training to it. And we will be receiving answers and advice from expert Lea Feder, a future doctor, bioinformatician and founder of Way to Win, where she offers performance diagnostics and coaching services.
Well, unfortunately, there's not so much literature about menstrual cycle and training for women because I think this is only a topic since maybe 3 years.
And to the guys watching, don't tune out just yet. This information can be useful for you too, to better understand the experiences of the other half of the population. Okay, let's dive in. The average menstrual cycle is 28 days long, but it can vary from 21 to 34 days, or even longer due to individual differences. Think of the menstrual cycle like the 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer and autumn. 2 key hormones, estrogen and progesterone, play crucial roles. Estrogen primes the body for ovulation, dominating the first half of the cycle, peaking at the ovulation. On the other hand, progesterone takes charge in the second half, preparing for a potential pregnancy after ovulation. The menstrual cycle begins with the period, resembling winter and lasting until the 4th day. This phase involves the shedding of the uterine lining, leading to period bleeding. It's common to feel the urge to rest during this time. Low estrogen and progesterone levels contribute to a lack of energy and fatigue in most women. Next is the follicular phase, from the 5th to the 14th day, resembling spring. Estrogen levels rise, preparing the body for ovulation. This surge in estrogen uplifts mood, boosts motivation and restores energy. Biologically, the body readies itself for partnering and procreation. Ovulation around the 14th day signifies the peak of estrogen and the onset of the summer in the cycle. With increased estrogen, testosterone also rises, putting women in their prime. This phase brings heightened energy, a willingness to take risks, and a greater inclination to socialize. From day 15 to 28, the luteal phase, representing autumn, unfolds until the 1st day of the period. Estrogen decreases and progesterone becomes prominent, preparing the body for potential pregnancy by optimizing the uterine lining. The core body temperature rises slightly to prevent infections, which leads to increased energy usage, meaning we have a higher demand for calories. If there's no pregnancy, estrogen and progesterone levels drop rapidly, causing women to feel low on energy, unmotivated, tired, and in need of a break. Aligning your training with your menstrual cycle offers numerous advantages. The key hurdle during various phases is sustaining motivation. Women remain physically capable of engaging in intensive training or participating in events, assuming both the menstrual cycle and overall health are in good condition. The key is to capitalize on your hormones. Now, let's address the basics. Is it okay to exercise during my period?
Of course. It's even good because most people who have period pain or period problems, they have positive effects on this issue if they train in an easy mode.
For the initial 1 to 3 days, ease into your workouts with foundational training, cycling or extended walks. If you feel like taking a break, opt for a daily 1-hour stroll to uplift your spirits and ease cramps. Starting from day 4, you can gradually resume your regular training routine, aligning with the first half of your menstrual cycle. In the initial half of your menstrual cycle, anabolic activity is heightened, promoting muscle growth due to increased estrogen. This period is ideal for impactful training because the elevated motivation will lead to peak performance. Engage in intensive strength training, HIIT and interval sessions during this time. But always remember to adjust carbohydrate intake as intense workouts lead to higher calorie burn. Aim for 50 to 60 grams per hour. And you should prioritize effective recovery to maximize the benefits of intense training. In the second half of your menstrual cycle, progesterone rises, leading to a catabolic phase where muscle breakdown outweighs muscle building. So, adapting the intense training is less effective than in the first half. Extreme stress from intense workouts can lead to blood sugar fluctuations, which can affect your menstrual cycle. Emphasize rest, recovery, and include easy foundational training at 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate with coordination exercises. Unlike the first half, carbohydrate replenishment is slower, increasing the basal metabolic rate due to elevated body temperature. Therefore, maintaining a good carbohydrate intake becomes even more crucial.
If I decide to align my training to my menstrual cycle, to what point do I need assistance, from a coach?
Well, in the beginning it's quite a lot to know, and people don't usually know that much. And then it seems super complicated. And I always want to break that down to simple steps, because I think once you have got the knowledge, then it's quite easy to adapt, and it's not a lot of effort to do that in your daily business, but it's a lot of effort to get the knowledge and to know what to do at what point. So I think especially for the beginning, it's a good thing to have a coach and to have somebody to ask, because they can just tell you, eat this, train that. And then if you connect that with your knowledge and you build your knowledge, then you will understand more and more and more, and then it will make sense at one point.
I guess a lot of people can relate, when you're planning your race and then suddenly the race falls on your period days. What should I do then?
So if you're prepared, there's not a single paper that's telling that you don't have the peak performance that you have in every other day of the phase. Of the menstrual phase. So it's not that you don't have the performance, but it's the problem of the accessibility of this performance. So you have the topic of mental state. So if you have less motivation because you have PMS, for example, and you have extreme mood swings and you don't sleep properly, and maybe you even have digestion topics because of inflammation, because you entered the blood sugar rise and falls and stuff like that, then you will not have the performance that you could have during those days.
Exercising in harmony with your menstrual cycle can result in performance peaks and overall increase in your body's well-being. But what happens if you don't listen to your body?
I had a missing period, yes. And I know how I gained it, because I did some low-carb diet to gain performance on the mountains. And I wanted to train very hard, and I trained a lot, and I had a lot of stress. And that was, summed up, it was too much for my body, and I didn't fuel enough, because I fueled 20 grams of carbohydrates per hour maybe.
Oh, okay.
And this was not enough for my engine at that time.
As mentioned before, the menstrual cycle is a sensitive system that can go off track when your hormones become imbalanced. A disbalance of your hormones can lead to red S, for example, which means relative energy deficiency in sports. In simpler terms, red S occurs when you're working out too much and not eating enough, causing a calorie intake that's too low compared to the body's energy needs. This causes the body to shut down functions that consume too much energy, such as maintaining the menstrual cycle, and can result in infertility.
This is a topic that also affects people in amateur sports, because people always think it's only professional cyclists or professional rowers, for example. It was quite popular, but it's also affecting people that just go running 3 times a week, for example. We have a lot of clients that do normal sports, 2 or 3 times a week. Well, the first sign that most people don't really interpret, but that we know, is that training feels hard. The legs get very heavy. You have to, push yourself for training. You don't really have the joy. Yeah, that you go out of work and you say, yes, let's go for a ride. I want to go hop on my bike and do some training. That's the first thing that will be gone immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the second thing is that you get tired, you get a little bit nervous, anxious. It can even cause depression. But the first thing that people notice is that they just don't have the performance during their daily efforts. For example, at work, they have problems in concentrating. They have like mind fog. They just don't really, they are not performing.
For a healthy menstrual cycle and body in general, it is crucial to take care of your calorie intake, especially during your workouts. Trust me on this, carbs are your friends. Low-carb diets won't help you reach your goals, and neither will severe restrictions. We did a whole video about cycling nutrition, which you can check out here. Another crucial factor is exercising on an empty stomach. When you work out without eating in the morning, it prompts a rise in stress hormones.
What many people don't know is that stress empties your carbohydrate storage. So if you go into a training after a bad night, for example, or after stress at work, your fueling will not be full. So you have to take care of that. You have to take something with you for training, because otherwise you will run on empty. If they run empty, they produce a cortisol hormone immediately. So the body will be interrupted by that, because cortisol levels, if they rise too high, they interrupt the menstrual cycle, because we have the progesterone in the second half of the cycle, and the progesterone is quite similar to cortisol, and then the body changes progesterone to cortisol, and then we don't have enough progesterone. And that's quite a big problem for the body to maintain the menstrual cycle.
I think that's like kind of hard to answer, but like what would you recommend for someone who notices something like that? Like, for example, someone watching this video and feeling like, oh, okay, it checks the boxes. Like, who do I talk to? What can I do about it?
Well, first of all, what can you do? It is easy, because if you have a measurement for your heart frequency, you can just see how high it's rising. Because if the maximum heart frequency is not reached during training and during hard efforts or high intensity efforts, then this is something where you can know that you have a topic.
Okay.
Yeah. And the second thing is you can measure your stress level and measure your sleep. And the thing that's really helping a lot of women is also the blood sugar management. So measuring the blood sugar in a continuous glucose measurement, like with those little dots for the arm, where you have the continuously transition of your blood sugar levels on your mobile phone. It's quite easy, and it gives you a lot of information on what to do.
Okay.
The sad thing is, if you go to a medical doctor, the probability is very high that the medical doctor will just tell you stop sports and gain weight. My message is, don't stop sports, but try to support your body in the way that it can heal. So give your body enough carbohydrates if you want to do sports. Eat regularly and focus on relaxation and sleep quality and stuff like that.
Let's get to PMS. Like, to what extent is PMS normal?
Not.
Not at all.
Not normal. No.
Okay.
You don't have to suffer from PMS. PMS is also, in my opinion, it's only a sign from your body that there is something out of balance. I know how to suffer from PMS, and if it's easy to do some small things wrong, and then you get your return.
Okay, yeah.
But I think if you do everything right, then this is just not a topic.
Achieving balanced hormones involves living a thoroughly healthy lifestyle. This includes taking care of your nutrition, steering clear of drastic blood sugar swings, regular physical activity, effective stress management, and ensuring sufficient quality sleep. In certain situations, supplements may be beneficial, but it's important to check for any deficiencies before incorporating them. Additionally, hormonal contraception may be an option in some cases.
So if somebody wants to find out more about that topic, is there like a website you recommend, or where can people find you and your information about the topic?
The easiest way is to go on our website on waytowin.eu. But if you are interested, I also wrote a book lately. It's unfortunately only in German, but my online course to that topic is also in English.
Now you're familiar with the essential elements of aligning your training with your menstrual cycle and understanding what else is crucial for hormonal well-being. I hope you find this video helpful and that it inspires you to make adjustments in your training routine. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to share them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to our channel.